Good morning, children. I am back again with the next part of our chapter, that is the Constitution. In this video, we will learn about what are laws, why there is a need of law, what would happen if there would be no law or constitution in a country, and we will learn about ideals of Indian Constitution, fundamental rights and their types. What are laws? Children, if I ask you what are laws, we end up saying कि मैम जो rule होता है उसी को हम law कहते हैं. But no, children, the law is a very broader concept. So the first point that we need to understand what are laws is that it is a body of rules and principles. That means law के अंदर सिर्फ rules नहीं आते हैं. Law के अंदर rules and principles, both of them are included. Second, laws are made to govern the activities of community. That means they are made to check the activities of society, that whether the society is involved in a good activity, they should not involve in any activity which is not good for a country. Right. Third, laws are enforced by a political authority. That means laws are applied by the political power. Who is in power? The government is in power. That means the laws are enforced by a political authority or the government. The fourth and the important point about law is that it is equal and applicable for everyone in a country. So in case I ask you a definition, children, that what are laws, then you may say that laws are body of rules and principles which are meant to govern the activities of community, and they are enforced by political authority, and laws are equal and applicable for everyone in the country. I hope now you are able to understand what are laws. The next point that we need to understand is that why there is a need of law. हमें law की क्यों जरूरत है? हम बिना law और rules के क्यों नहीं रह सकते? The first important thing is that law regularize the civic life. That means laws actually train the human beings to live in a civilized manner or in a behaved manner. Because of law, human beings restrict their behavior to be a civilized individuals. Otherwise, if there would be no law, then we would not be following anything. Whenever we want, whatever we want, we can do, and that will create chaos in the country. That is why to regularize the civic life, we need a law. Second point, why we need a law? For the smooth running of society. If there would be law, there would be no confusion. There would be a proper working in a society or in a country. If there would be no law, then what would happen? Everyone will do whatever they want, and there will be no smooth running in a country. That is why for smooth running of society, we need a law. Third, to establish peace and order, we need a law. Imagine if we do not have a law, then anyone, if they enter into fight with other, they end up killing each other. Yes or no? And that will create a chaos in the society. That is why we need a law to establish peace and order, to tell the citizens that this is a crime according to the law. This we need not to do whenever we are angry or whenever we are into some quarrels. Now, fourth point is to refute against any social system. We need a law to stop any social system which is not good for the society. Like, for example, child marriages, female infanticides, or dowry system. All these social systems are not good for the society, and they are ills for the society. To stop these social evils, we need law. And when law will be there, these social evils will be removed from the society, and our society will be a better place for living. Now, the fifth point we need law is to reform the society through deep-rooted ills. See, what we make sure with the law is that maximum evils of the society should be removed. But the evils which are there from prolonged history, यानी कई जमानों से जो evils चलते हुए आ रहे हैं, जैसे कि untouchability है, तो law के कारण क्या होता है, we try and reduce the effect of untouchability over the society, and that helps in changing a society in a better way. So the laws help us in reforming the society through deep rooted ills. Understood? That is why we need a law. So all these 5 points are important and explains why there is a need of law in a country. Now, the next topic that we need to understand is what would happen if there would be no laws or constitution. That means अगर हमारी कंट्री में कोई लॉ नहीं होगा और या फिर कोई कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन नहीं होगा तो क्या होगा? Then we'll see the first condition. Civic behavior would not be possible. People will not behave in a proper way. People will go wherever they want. That means for judiciary, we all know to enter into a Supreme Court, we need to file a case. But then if there is a no law and there is no constitution, people will, whenever they want, they can move to the Supreme Court. Whenever they want, they can move to the police station. Whenever they want, they can meet the Prime Minister. That will actually create a chaotic situation in the country. That is why we need a law. And if there would be no law, civic behavior will not be possible. There will be no law and order in the state. No one will follow. No one will behave with the people. Someone will hit someone. Someone will kill some other. So there will be no law and order, no peace, no harmony. The third and the most important point is the political leaders. That means the Prime Minister, the Chief Minister and the other ministers whom we elect through elections will start misusing their power, because as we read in the last video that the constitution keeps a check over the political leaders so that they do not misuse the power. But if there would be no law or constitution, then political leader will definitely misuse their power and they will ill-treat the people. The fourth point, if there would be no law or constitution, what will happen? No fundamental rights will be given to the people. The people will not be safe. They cannot protect themselves from the exploitation, whether it is by a political leader or it is by a country. Fundamental rights are the invisible weapon in the hands of people which protect them from any illegal exploitation. So if there would be no law, we will have no fundamental rights and we cannot protect ourselves from leaders misusing their power. Now the fifth point, there will be disputes between the organs of the government. We read in the last video that constitution clearly signifies the powers of the organs of the government. If there would be no constitution, then the organs of the government, the three organs of the government are legislative, executive and judiciary. They will have fight against each of them. They will not know what work they have to follow and what functions they have to do, what powers they have. So they may end up into the disputes between each other. Let us understand the ideals of Indian Constitution. See children, I told you in the last video that the ideals of Indian Constitution are very valuable because they are being made by the freedom fighters who have led their struggle for making India free. So today we will discuss the ideals of Indian Constitution in detail. The first letter of the Preamble of India is "We the people of India." That means it shows that all the people of India together have handed their responsibility and the country's responsibility to the government by electing their representative, and they agree for this constitution. The statement "We the people of India" actually shows us the togetherness of people coming together to accept this constitution as Indian constitution. Now the second ideal is sovereign. Sovereign means people have supreme right to make the decision on internal as well as external matter. See children, we all know India is a democratic country, and in a democratic country the power is in the hands of people. They can elect anyone to become the prime minister through elections. They can change their leader in the next elections. So with sovereign means that the power is in the hands of people, whether it is in case of internal matters or it is in case of external matters. The people will rule the government of India. Now, the third ideal is socialist. Socialist means that whatever the money is generated socially should be shared equally in the society. That means the government, in case they raise any money in social welfare, that has to be shared in society equally. The government has to try and reduce the inequality or the difference between rich and poor in the society. Now, the last ideal is secular. The people have the freedom to follow religion. We all know that India has no official religion. That means the people in India are free to follow any religion, and government treats all the religion equally and gives importance to all the religions. Now, the four main ideals which were below written in the Indian preamble, which I showed you in the last video, are: first is justice. That means every citizen of India is entitled for justice. That means sabhi ko nyay milega. Everyone, whether you are a rich, whether you are poor, whether you are a chief minister, or whether you are a small social worker, you have a right to approach to judiciary or to Supreme Court to seek justice. You will get social justice, you will get economical justice, you will also get political justice in case any of your right has been violated. The second ideal is liberty. Every citizen will have liberty of expression, belief, faith and worship. That means every citizen in India has a freedom of expression, freedom of belief, freedom of keeping faith in any religion, and freedom of worshipping any god or any idol or any deity. The third is equality. Every citizen will be provided with equal status and of equal opportunity. Everyone is equal, whether you are rich, whether you are poor, whether you are a small teacher, whether you are a doctor, whether you are a chief minister. Everyone is equal in the eyes of law and in the eyes of constitution. Okay. The fourth is fraternity. All the citizens of India have been assured that their respect and dignity will be maintained by the nation. Fraternity is a word which is basically used for a group of people or for a family. So the Indian constitution says that all the people living in India and their dignity of every individual in India is the unity and the integrity of the nation. They will try their best to maintain the dignity of the individual. Understood? See, children, you must be surprised that ma'am keeps on talking about fundamental rights. But what are these fundamental rights? Today in this video, I will explain you in detail about all the fundamental rights. The first feature of fundamental rights is that it is basic and essential for all the human beings. It is essential for the development of all the human beings and for all the individuals. And the fundamental rights are written in the chapter 3rd of articles 12 to 35 in our Indian constitution. Okay. Now, the fourth, they are also called as conscience of Indian constitution. Conscience means it is basically the moral importance of Indian constitution. It is the true value. It gives true value to the Indian constitution because Indian constitution empowers Indian citizens with fundamental rights, and fundamental rights are 7 in numbers. Let us move forward and understand about them. The first fundamental right that we need to understand is right to equality. That means everyone is equal before the law, whether you are rich, whether you are poor, whether you are a small child, whether you are a beggar, whether you are a rag picker, or whether you are a rickshaw puller, or in fact if you are a CM. Everyone is equal in the eyes of law. Justice will be given to everyone equally. Right to equality also says that there should be no discrimination among the people in the society, and there is abolition of untouchability. That means you cannot treat anyone as untouchable in the society. And right to equality also says that equality of opportunity will be given to everyone. Everyone has a right to seek a job, whether in the government institution or in a private institution, irrespective of their caste, creed, their gender or their place of birth. So right to equality gives you a power to get treated equal in the society. The next right that we will be reading about is right to freedom. Now, right to freedom gives you the freedom of speech and expression. That means you are free to express your views, you are free to express and speak freely. Okay, the right to freedom also gives you the power to assemble peacefully. That means you can assemble with your friends or with your family members or with your society members peacefully, but without arms. Without arms means you will not carry any weapons, any gun or anything, without arms and ammunitions. Third, right to freedom gives you power to move freely throughout the territory of India. You can move freely throughout the territory. You can settle in any part of India. You have freedom to practice any profession, but with respect to country's welfare. You have freedom to become teacher, doctor, whichever profession you want. There is no restriction, but all the profession should be with respect to country's welfare. All these rights will be cancelled during emergency. This we can easily experience now, as there is a national lockdown going on because of COVID-19. We are not allowed to move freely throughout the territory of India because emergency has been declared during this pandemic. So right to freedom completely gets cancelled when emergency gets declared. Okay. Now, the next right that we are coming up to is right against exploitation. Right against exploitation says that there should be no forced labor, यानी आप किसी से forcefully काम नहीं करा सकते. Second, it says that there should be no begar practiced. What is begar? Begar is work without payment. When you tell anyone to work for you and then you do not pay them, then that is called as begar. Okay, it also stops immoral trafficking of humans. Trafficking means basically selling of human beings from one place to another. We should not be doing that. It is against right of exploitation. Then right of exploitation also says that children below the age of 14 in factories and mines are not allowed to work. Okay, and these children are specifically meant to gain right to education. They should not be seen in the factories working. It is illegal towards it. Right to freedom of religion, a very important right. As we all know, India is a secular country and we do not have any official religion. Hence, India gives its citizen the right to follow and practice any religion. No tax is charged if you promote any religion, and people in the country support as they can establish and manage institutions of religious and charitable purposes. Understood? That means if in your lane some jhanki or some procession is going on, religious procession, the government will not stop until and unless it is maintaining the peace and order of the country. So no tax is charged against that. You are free to establish your own institution of religious institutions, like we have madrasas where Islamic people go and learn how to read Holy Quran. We have church, we have temples, we have gurudwaras, which are religious institutions, and there are many institutions which are meant for charitable purposes. Culture and educational rights. The right to preserve your language, script and culture is given by culture and educational rights. Under this right, minority institutions can be established and no discrimination can be done by the government while they are providing some helping, or they are providing some granting, or they are providing some aids to the minority institutions under this right. Right to education, the newly amended right, which was amended in the year 2010, the new article which is under 86th Amendment of India. Right to education guarantees every child of the age 6 to 14 years will get education for free. India is one of the 135th countries to adopt this right as a fundamental one. With this, we complete the detailed explanation of all these 7 rights. I hope you have understood these rights. These rights are very important to be understood as an individual, as they are very important for our development. I hope with this you are able to understand the concept. Thank you.